When the sky rumbles and lightning cracks through the heavens, it's not just a storm, it's Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, answering the call of its mighty owner. This hammer is not just a weapon, it's a symbol of hope, strength, and protection in Norse mythology. Mjolnir holds a power that goes beyond the physical. It embodies the very essence of Thor's role as the guardian of gods and men. Thor, the thunder god, is the unyielding shield of Asgard and Midgard. His duty is to protect the gods from the giants and safeguard the human world from chaos. Mjolnir is his tool, his trusted companion in the endless struggle against those who seek to disrupt the order of the cosmos. With every swing, Mjolnir crushes the forces of evil, restoring balance and security. The hammer's power is immense, a force that can summon thunder and lightning, and it is said that it always returns to Thor's hand after being thrown. This divine weapon, heavy and mighty, reflects Thor's own strength and determination. The story of Mjolnir begins in the dimly lit halls of the dwarfs Sindri and Braker. In their underground forge, the air was thick with the clamor of hammering and the scent of burning metal. It was here that the dwarfs crafted wonders, but none as significant as Mjolnir. The hammer was born from a challenge and a race against time. Loki, ever the trickster, had cut off the hair of Sif, Thor's beloved wife. To make amends, Loki promised to procure gifts for the gods from the dwarves, knowing well that their skills were unmatched. Sindri and Braker took up the challenge. They began their work, fashioning treasures that would include not only Mjolnir, but also the golden boar Gullinbursti and the golden ring Draupnir. The process was intricate, each stroke of their hammers filled with purpose. As they worked, Loki, with his usual mischief, transformed into a fly and bit Braker, trying to disrupt their efforts. Despite Loki's best attempts to sabotage their work, the dwarfs persevered. The creation of Mjolnir was a race against time, and in the midst of their struggle, a crucial mistake happened. One of Mjolnir's features was altered, its handle was shortened. Although it was not perfect, the hammer's power remained unmatched. Mjolnir was forged with the blood, sweat, and unyielding spirit of its creators. It was a weapon of immense power, designed to protect and to prevail. Its handle, though shorter than intended, made it a weapon Thor could wield with precision in battle. When Mjolnir was finally completed, its impact was immediate and profound. Thor wielded it with pride, and the hammer became synonymous with his strength and bravery. It was not just a tool but a piece of divine justice, a symbol of Thor's unbreakable will to shield the world from darkness. Every swing of Mjolnir, every flash of lightning it unleashed, was a testament to the craftsmanship and dedication of Sindri and Braker. It was their creation that ensured the safety of the gods and the people of Midgard. Mjolnir's significance went beyond its physical might. It was a beacon of hope, a divine protector against the encroaching chaos of the giants and other malevolent forces. As Mjolnir roared through the skies, it carried with it the legacy of its creators and the promise of protection from one of the most formidable gods ever to walk the earth. Thor's eyes snapped open, his heart racing as though he'd just awoken from a nightmare. The storm raging outside was not the cause of his sudden panic. It was something far more disturbing. His hammer, Mjolnir, was gone. Thor reached out, his fingers brushing the empty space where his trusted weapon should have been. The absence was like a chilling void, and a wave of dread swept over him. In the dim morning light, Thor's first frantic search was fruitless. The hammer was nowhere to be found. He leaped from his bed, his face pale with fear and anger. He rushed through Asgard, the home of the gods, shouting for his weapon. The usually tranquil halls echoed with his desperate cries, and soon the entire realm was buzzing with alarm. The gods gathered, their faces etched with concern and confusion. Mjolnir was not just a hammer, it was Thor's source of power and the very symbol of his might. Without it, he was vulnerable. Panic gripped Asgard as the news spread. The gods knew that if Mjolnir had been stolen, it was a dire threat. Thor's strength was the shield protecting them all from the giants and other dangers. The gods were deeply unsettled by the thought of such a powerful weapon being in the wrong hands. Whispers of fear and speculation filled the air. How could this happen? Who would dare to challenge Thor and steal his hammer? The gods, usually confident and resolute, were now engulfed in uncertainty. Freyja, with her fierce spirit, demanded answers. Odin, wise but worried, convened a council of the gods, trying to piece together how this catastrophe unfolded. The loss of Mjolnir was not just a physical blow, it was a profound crisis that threatened the safety of their world. In the midst of the chaos, Thor's anger and desperation were palpable. He was not only a mighty god but a protector who could no longer fulfill his duties without Mjolnir. It was Loki, the trickster, who approached Thor with an offer to help. Although Loki's motives were often questionable, his keen mind and cunning were unmatched. Thor, though wary of Loki's reputation, saw no other choice but to accept his aid. Together, Thor and Loki set out to uncover the truth behind the theft. Loki's sharp eyes and silver tongue would be instrumental in navigating the treacherous path ahead. The two set off, their determination and worry fueling their every step. Loki's mind worked quickly, piecing together clues and tracing potential leads. Thor's frustration simmered beneath the surface, but his resolve to find Mjolnir burned bright. They ventured through the lands, seeking any trace that could reveal the whereabouts of the stolen hammer. Their journey was fraught with challenges. Each lead turned into a false hope, and every shadow seemed to hold a new mystery. Yet, their shared goal kept them moving forward, the thought of Mjolnir's loss driving them both. The weight of the gods' trust and the looming threat of danger spurred them on. As they ventured further, the tension between Thor and Loki was undeniable. Thor's anger and suspicion clashed with Loki's cleverness and evasive answers. But both knew that they had to set aside their differences and work together if they hoped to recover the hammer and restore balance to their world. Loki's mind raced as he plotted his next move. The theft of Thor's hammer was no ordinary crime, it was a blow to the heart of Asgard's safety. With a plan forming, Loki decided to use his trickery to uncover the truth. He knew that if anyone had taken Mjolnir, it would be the giants in Jotunheim, their ancient enemies. Loki's steps were quick and purposeful as he left Asgard behind. He slipped through the shadows, his face a mask of calculated calm. His journey took him through winding paths and dark forests, each step closer to the land of the giants. The air grew colder and the sky darker as he approached Jotunheim, the realm of towering giants who harbored a deep grudge against the gods. Loki's arrival in Jotunheim was met with suspicion. The giants, massive and fearsome, eyed him with wary glances. Loki knew he had to tread carefully, his every word and action could mean the difference between success and disaster. His reputation for cunning and deceit had earned him a place among the giants, but also their distrust. Among the giants, Thrym was a name that sent shivers through the land. Thrym, a giant with a cruel streak, was known for his greed and hunger for power. Loki, using his charm and guile, sought out Thrym. He approached the giant's hall with a pretense of seeking an alliance, a move designed to lower Thrym's guard. When Loki faced Thrym, the giant's eyes gleamed with a mix of curiosity and malice. Loki spun a tale of woe, pretending to be lost and seeking refuge. Thrym, intrigued by Loki's smooth talk and false humility, invited him in. As they spoke, Loki carefully prodded Thrym with questions about recent events, masking his true intent behind a veil of casual conversation. It wasn't long before Loki's efforts bore fruit. Thrym, unable to resist showing off his prize, revealed a surprising truth. The giant's boastful manner and careless words exposed the fact that he had indeed stolen Mjolnir. Loki's heart raced with a mix of relief and anxiety. He had found the hammer, but at what cost? Thrym's proposal was as shocking as it was outrageous. To return Mjolnir, the giant demanded the hand of Freyja, the beautiful goddess of love, in marriage. Loki's heart sank at the thought of such a vile deal. Freyja's marriage to Thrym would be a disaster for the gods and a deep humiliation for all involved. Loki's mind raced as he considered how to turn this dire situation to his advantage. He knew that Freyja would never agree to the marriage and that Thor's strength was essential for any plan to recover Mjolnir. Loki's cunning plan would need to go beyond mere deception. It would require bravery and cleverness to outwit the giant and recover the hammer. As he left Thrym's hall, Loki's thoughts were consumed with the implications of the giant's demand. He had uncovered the truth, but the path to restoring Mjolnir was fraught with peril. With the weight of the gods' hopes on his shoulders, Loki knew he had to act swiftly and decisively. The fate of Asgard and the safety of its people hinged on his next move. The air was thick with tension as the gods of Asgard gathered to discuss Thrym's outrageous demand. Thor's heart sank with every word Loki spoke. The giant's terms were as cruel as they were absurd. In exchange for Mjolnir, Thrym wanted Freyja's hand in marriage. The gods were stunned, their faces reflecting a mix of disbelief and horror. Freyja, known for her beauty and grace, was a goddess who had earned the respect and love of all. The thought of her being married off to Thrym was not only a betrayal but an affront to all that the gods stood for. Her beauty was meant to inspire, not to be bartered for like a mere possession. The gods debated heatedly, their voices rising in desperation. Odin's brow furrowed in thought, his wisdom struggling to find a way out of this dark corner. Freyja's marriage to Thrym was unthinkable, and the gods knew that agreeing to his terms would not only dishonor Freyja but also weaken their position against the giants. Thor, usually so confident and formidable, was now a picture of frustration and helplessness. Without Mjolnir, he felt exposed and vulnerable, unable to protect Asgard or Midgard. The gods' minds raced, searching for any possible solution that would avoid sacrificing Freyja. They weighed their options, each more desperate than the last. Some suggested paying Thrym a ransom, while others proposed trickery or force. But all knew that their chances of success were slim, and time was slipping away. Amidst the turmoil, Freyja's fury erupted like a storm. She had been listening to the gods' discussions, and her anger was a sight to behold. Her eyes blazed with defiance and her voice cut through the chaos with a steely edge. "I will not be bartered like a piece of livestock," she declared, her words filled with both scorn and sorrow. Freyja's pride and strength were clear as she rejected the giant's proposal. She was a goddess of love and war, with a spirit as fierce as the fires of her anger. The thought of being forced into such a marriage was abhorrent to her, and she made it clear that she would never willingly become Thrym's bride. The gods were relieved by Freyja's refusal, but knew that it left them in an even more precarious position. The threat of Thrym's wrath hung over them like a dark cloud. They were out of options, and the reality of their predicament set in. Without Mjolnir, their ability to defend themselves and their world was in jeopardy. The gods' desperation grew as they faced the daunting task of finding a solution that would avoid both dishonor and destruction. Freyja's reaction only deepened the gods' dilemma. Her courage and refusal to yield highlighted the gravity of their situation. The gods knew they needed to act quickly, but their choices were limited and fraught with danger. The fate of Asgard rested on their ability to navigate this perilous challenge and find a way to reclaim Mjolnir without sacrificing their honor or their goddess. The plan Loki hatched was as bold as it was outrageous. Thor would dress as Freyja and deceive Thrym into thinking the goddess had come to marry him. Loki's eyes sparkled with mischief as he explained his scheme, but his words fell on Thor like a heavy shroud of despair. The idea of Thor, the thunder god, masquerading as a bride was as unthinkable as it was humiliating. Thor's face was a picture of utter disbelief and disgust. "I will not be paraded around like some maid," he growled, his voice filled with a mix of anger and embarrassment. The thought of donning a bridal gown and pretending to be Freyja was mortifying to him. His muscles tensed at the very idea, his pride and sense of honor struggling against the desperate need to reclaim Mjolnir and save Asgard. Despite his resistance, Thor could see the desperation in the eyes of the gods. They were backed into a corner, with no other options in sight. Loki's plan, though distasteful, was their best chance at retrieving Mjolnir and averting disaster. The urgency of the situation forced Thor to set aside his discomfort and agree to the plan. As the gods prepared for the deception, the air was thick with a sense of both dread and determination. Freyja, with a mixture of sympathy and resolve, assisted in the transformation. She and the other goddesses worked tirelessly to create a disguise that would be convincing enough to fool Thrym. They dressed Thor in a sumptuous bridal gown, its fabric shimmering with every color of the rainbow. The dress was adorned with intricate designs and gemstones that sparkled like stars. A long, flowing veil covered Thor's face, adding an air of delicate mystery to the disguise. The preparation was meticulous, every detail attended to with care. Thor's beard was hidden beneath layers of makeup and a carefully styled wig that cascaded down his back. The transformation was so complete that even Thor's deep, rugged voice was softened by the enchantments woven into the costume. The gods worked with the utmost precision, knowing that the success of the deception depended on their attention to detail. As the final touches were applied, Thor looked at himself in the mirror. The reflection that stared back was a far cry from the mighty god of thunder. The sight was both absurd and unsettling. His usual battle-worn attire was replaced by layers of delicate silk and satin. He clenched his jaw, trying to suppress the wave of humiliation that washed over him. Every movement felt awkward and foreign in the restrictive dress, and his heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination. Despite his reservations, Thor's resolve hardened. He knew that this was their only chance to recover Mjolnir and protect Asgard. With each step he took towards Thrym's hall, his pride was overshadowed by the gravity of the situation. His mind was focused on the task at hand, the burden of the gods' hopes weighing heavily on his shoulders. The gods stood by, their faces a mixture of hope and anxiety as Thor prepared to face Thrym. They knew that the success of the plan was critical, and every second felt like an eternity. As Thor took his first steps towards the giant's hall, the sound of his heels clicking against the ground was a reminder of the delicate balance between success and failure. Thor's journey to Jotunheim, dressed as Freyja, was fraught with a profound sense of unease. The path was long and treacherous, each step a reminder of the sacrifice he was making for the greater good. Yet, despite the discomfort and embarrassment, Thor's determination burned bright. The stakes were high, and he knew that only by maintaining his disguise and outwitting Thrym could he hope to reclaim Mjolnir and restore balance to their world. Thor's heart thundered with each step as he and Loki approached Thrym's hall in Jotunheim. The towering gates of the giant's fortress loomed ahead, an imposing symbol of the challenge they faced. Thor, dressed in layers of delicate silk and shimmering jewels, felt every movement of the gown as if it were a cage. The weight of the veil on his head, combined with the makeup and wig, made him feel like a stranger in his own skin. Loki, by his side, wore a smirk of confidence, though his eyes were alert for any sign of trouble. As they entered the hall, a hush fell over the gathering giants. Thrym's great hall was filled with massive, curious eyes, each one scrutinizing the new arrival with a mix of suspicion and intrigue. The giants, known for their keen senses, immediately sensed something was amiss. Thrym, in his grandiose throne, watched with a skeptical glare, his sharp eyes narrowing as he took in the sight of Thor in his elaborate disguise. Loki, ever the trickster, stepped forward with a flourish. His voice, smooth and convincing, soothed the giant's doubts. He spun tales of Freyja's mysterious demeanor, attributing it to pre-wedding jitters and the enchantments that bound her to the disguise. Loki's words were laced with just enough charm and authority to keep the giant's suspicion at bay, but he knew the real challenge lay ahead. The giant's eyes flitted nervously between Loki and the disguised Thor, their unease palpable. Thor, though hidden beneath layers of fabric and makeup, could feel the weight of every pair of eyes on him. Each step felt like a battle against his own discomfort. The gown, though beautiful, was a constant reminder of his precarious position. He struggled to maintain the grace and poise expected of Freyja, but every movement felt awkward and unnatural. The ceremony began, and the false wedding unfolded with an air of strange solemnity. Loki played the role of the dutiful servant, guiding Thor through the rituals and keeping the giants engaged with tales and laughter. The giants, eager to see their prize wed, paid close attention, their suspicions momentarily set aside. Thor's heart raced with every passing moment. The weight of the wedding vows, though ceremonial, seemed to press down on him. He fought to keep his composure, the tight gown restricting his movements and making each gesture a struggle. The scent of the flowers and the sound of the giant's laughter were a constant reminder of the absurdity and danger of the situation. As the ceremony progressed, Thor's resolve was tested. He had to remain convincing, despite the discomfort and the knowledge that each misstep could reveal the ruse. The giants, though initially doubtful, seemed to grow more accepting as Loki's charm worked its magic. But the sense of tension never left the hall, as if the very air was charged with the possibility of discovery. The moment when Thrym leaned in to kiss the bride was both a triumph and a trial. Thor's face, hidden behind the veil, was a mask of grim determination. His heart pounded as Thrym's cold lips brushed against his cheek. Every fiber of his being was on edge, and the need to maintain the deception was overwhelming. The giants cheered, oblivious to the truth hidden beneath the gown. Throughout the ceremony, Loki's role was crucial. His ability to distract and mislead the giants was the linchpin of their plan. He kept the giants entertained with exaggerated tales and playful banter, all while keeping a close eye on the proceedings. Loki's quick thinking and sharp wit were the only things standing between them and disaster. As the false wedding continued, the stakes grew ever higher. Thor's discomfort was palpable, but so was his determination. The weight of the gods' hopes rested on his shoulders, and he knew that the success of their plan depended on maintaining the charade. The ceremony was a delicate dance of deception and endurance, with every moment bringing them closer to either success or catastrophe. The giants' hall, filled with roaring laughter and clinking goblets, seemed to mock the tension Thor felt. His every movement was a battle against the fabric of the gown and the roles he was forced to play. Yet, amid the chaos and discomfort, the hope of reclaiming Mjolnir and saving Asgard drove him forward. The moment of truth arrived as Thrym, with a triumphant grin, placed Mjolnir on Thor's lap. The giant's laughter echoed through the hall, his voice filled with a mix of arrogance and satisfaction. The hammer, heavy and imposing, lay there as if mocking the very gods who had come to reclaim it. Thor, hidden beneath the veil, felt the weight of Mjolnir and knew the time had come to act. As Thrym prepared to celebrate his victory, the tension in the hall was palpable. The giants, their eyes fixed on the newlywed Freyja, awaited the final moments of the ceremony. Loki's eyes darted nervously, knowing that the success of their plan hinged on this crucial moment. The giants' laughter and cheers became a deafening roar, drowning out the beating of Thor's heart. Thor's hand, trembling slightly, reached for the hammer. The instant his fingers touched the familiar handle, a surge of power coursed through him. With a decisive move, Thor threw aside the veil, revealing his true identity. The gasps that followed were drowned out by the roar of Thor's fury. The giants' faces went from joy to horror in a heartbeat. Thor's eyes, usually warm with laughter and camaraderie, now blazed with the intensity of a storm. His expression was one of sheer, unbridled rage. The sight of his beloved hammer in his grasp fueled his anger, transforming him from a reluctant bride into a force of vengeance. Thor raised Mjolnir high, his powerful arm a blur of motion. The hammer swung with a might that seemed to shake the very foundations of Thrym's hall. The giants, caught off guard and paralyzed by shock, could barely react. The hall, once filled with the clamor of a wedding celebration, was now a battleground where Thor's wrath was unleashed with devastating force. Each strike of Mjolnir was a testament to Thor's fury. The hammer, imbued with the essence of thunder and lightning, crackled with energy as it struck down the giants. Their roars of surprise and fear were quickly silenced by the hammer's relentless assault. The walls of the hall trembled as Thor's rage tore through the giants like a storm, scattering them like leaves in the wind. Thrym's own attempts to escape were futile. The giant, once so confident, was now a crumpled figure before Thor's wrath. With a final, resounding blow, Thor brought Mjolnir crashing down upon Thrym. The giant's roar of pain and disbelief was swallowed by the deafening crack of the hammer's impact. The force of the strike sent Thrym crashing to the ground, his reign of terror ended by the sheer might of Thor's vengeance. The hall, now a scene of chaos and destruction, bore witness to Thor's retribution. The giants who had once cheered and celebrated were now scattered and defeated. Thor's heart, though still pounding with the adrenaline of battle, carried a heavy weight. Each fallen giant was a reminder of the price of their deception and the cost of their victory. Loki, watching from the sidelines, felt a mix of relief and awe. The plan had succeeded beyond their wildest expectations, but the cost of their deception was evident in the carnage that lay before them. Thor's face, though set with determination, was marked by the exhaustion of battle. His eyes, once filled with anger, now held a weary satisfaction. As the last echoes of battle faded and the dust began to settle, Thor stood amid the wreckage, Mjolnir in hand. The hammer, once lost and now reclaimed, was a symbol of his power and a reminder of the lengths he had gone to protect his world. The giants were vanquished, their threat eliminated, but the weight of what had been done hung heavy in the air. Thor's return to Asgard was marked by a mix of triumph and somber reflection. The victory was hard-earned and the price was high, but the gods knew that their protector had reclaimed what was rightfully his. The hammer's return was a testament to Thor's strength and the unyielding resolve to safeguard his people. Thor's return to Asgard was nothing short of a grand spectacle. The sight of him walking through the gates with Mjolnir firmly in hand was a moment of pure, exhilarating triumph. His powerful strides were accompanied by the thunderous applause of the gods, who gathered in anticipation of his arrival. The very air seemed to shimmer with relief and joy as Thor approached, the hammer's familiar weight a comforting reminder of victory. The gods erupted in cheers as Thor stepped into the great hall. The once empty space now overflowed with vibrant celebration. Songs of victory rang through the hall, and the sound of laughter and music filled every corner. The gods, who had anxiously awaited Thor's return, now danced and celebrated, their faces alight with happiness. Mjolnir, the symbol of Thor's strength and protection, was back where it belonged, and the threat of the giants was no more. Thor's heart swelled with pride and relief as he took in the scene. The god of thunder, who had faced humiliation and danger, was finally home. His friends and allies, their faces beaming with joy, surrounded him. The warmth of their embrace and the heartfelt congratulations were a balm to the wounds of his pride. Each cheer and congratulatory word was a reminder of the respect and love he had earned through his bravery and sacrifice. Amid the celebrations, Thor and Loki found a quiet moment to reflect on their remarkable, though humbling, victory. They stood together, side by side, watching the festivities unfold. Thor's eyes, though tired, were filled with a mix of gratitude and contemplation. The events of the past days, the deception, and the fierce battle had taken a toll, but the sight of his fellow gods celebrating made it all worthwhile. Loki, ever the trickster, wore a wry smile as he looked at Thor. "You make a most convincing bride," he said, his voice laced with both amusement and respect. The humor in his words was tempered by the undeniable bond that had formed between them through their shared ordeal. Loki's eyes softened as he looked at Thor, understanding the weight of the humiliation Thor had endured for the sake of their mission. Thor chuckled, though his laugh was tinged with exhaustion. "And you, Loki, are quite the schemer," he replied. The exchange was lighthearted, but it carried a deeper sense of camaraderie. They both knew that their success had come at a great personal cost. The deception, though effective, had been a source of considerable discomfort and embarrassment for Thor. Yet, it was this very discomfort that had paved the way for their triumph. The gods continued to revel, their joy unbounded. Thor's return was not just a victory, it was a testament to their collective strength and resolve. The celebration was a mix of feasting, music, and heartfelt toasts. Thor and Loki watched as the gods honored their bravery, their cheers a loud affirmation of the sacrifices made and the challenges overcome. In the midst of the revelry, Thor's thoughts drifted back to the deception. The image of himself in a bridal gown, though now a source of humor, had been a painful and deeply unsettling experience. Yet, as he looked around at his fellow gods, he knew that the humiliation was a small price to pay for the greater good. The safety of Asgard and the return of Mjolnir were worth every moment of discomfort. Loki, ever perceptive, noticed the contemplative look on Thor's face. He placed a reassuring hand on Thor's shoulder. It was a difficult plan, but it worked. "We did what we had to do," he said, his voice filled with genuine warmth. Loki's words were a reminder of their shared victory and the unspoken understanding between them. Thor nodded, his expression one of quiet reflection. The battle had been fierce, and the deception had been trying, but the end result was a testament to their strength and ingenuity. As the night wore on and the celebrations continued, Thor felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The laughter and joy of his fellow gods were a reminder of the bond they shared and the importance of their unity. In the quiet moments, away from the clamor of the festivities, Thor and Loki stood together, their friendship strengthened by the trials they had faced. The victory was not just about reclaiming Mjolnir, it was about the trust and support that had carried them through their darkest moments. The return to Asgard was a celebration of both triumph and the enduring bonds of friendship forged in the heat of battle. The tale of the theft of Mjolnir is more than just a story of adventure and cleverness, it is a cornerstone of Norse culture and folklore, resonating through the ages with a profound impact. This myth, full of drama, cunning, and triumph, was woven deeply into the fabric of Viking society and its cultural expressions. From the icy fjords of Scandinavia to the rugged highlands, the story of Thor's stolen hammer became a source of inspiration and identity. The god's struggle and the eventual recovery of Mjolnir symbolized resilience and the undying spirit of the Norse people. The tale captured their imagination, reflecting values that were central to their way of life: bravery, cunning, and the protection of what was rightfully theirs. In Norse culture, Mjolnir was more than a weapon, it was a symbol of divine power and protection. The myth of its theft and recovery illustrated not just the strength of Thor, but also the importance of perseverance and cleverness in overcoming seemingly insurmountable challenges. The story was a reminder of the delicate balance between order and chaos, and how even the gods had to rely on their wit and strength to restore harmony. This myth found its way into various forms of art and literature, leaving a lasting impression across centuries. Ancient Norse art often depicted scenes from their mythology, and the story of Mjolnir was no exception. Carvings on runestones, intricate designs on jewelry, and illustrations in manuscripts brought the story to life. These representations were not just artistic expressions, they were a means of preserving and transmitting cultural values and historical narratives to future generations. In modern times, the myth continues to capture the imagination of artists and storytellers. From vibrant illustrations in books to dramatic portrayals in films and television, the story of the stolen hammer has been reimagined and retold for new audiences. These modern depictions often draw on the rich tapestry of Norse mythology, blending ancient themes with contemporary storytelling techniques. The enduring appeal of the myth is a testament to its powerful symbolism and the timeless nature of its themes. The symbol of Mjolnir has also endured beyond the myth itself. In Viking society, Thor's hammer was a potent emblem of protection and strength. The hammer's image was carved into amulets and worn as a sign of divine favor and security. These amulets, known as Thor's hammer pendants, were cherished by the people, who believed that wearing them would protect them from harm and ensure their well-being. Even today, Mjolnir's symbol remains a significant part of cultural heritage. It is a potent reminder of the ancient Norse traditions and the values they held dear. The hammer's image has been embraced by modern societies, appearing in various forms of art, jewelry, and even popular culture. It represents not just the mythical might of Thor, but also the enduring strength and resilience of the human spirit. In every depiction and every retelling, the story of Mjolnir and its theft carries with it the emotional weight of ancient beliefs and values. It speaks to the human experience of facing adversity and overcoming it through courage and cleverness. The myth's influence on Norse culture is a testament to its deep resonance and the lasting impact it has had on shaping cultural identities and values. The story of Mjolnir doesn't end with its recovery from the giants. Thor's hammer continued to play a pivotal role in his later adventures and sagas, underscoring its significance as a symbol of divine power and protection. Each new tale involving Mjolnir added to its storied legacy, weaving the hammer into the fabric of Thor's heroic exploits. In the myths that followed, Mjolnir was more than just a weapon, it was a key to Thor's enduring strength and success. Whether battling ancient giants, facing the wrath of monstrous beings, or defending Asgard from cosmic threats, Thor wielded his hammer with unparalleled might. Mjolnir's ability to return to Thor's hand after being thrown and its capability to unleash thunder and lightning were essential in these epic battles. The hammer's power was a constant source of awe and inspiration, amplifying Thor's heroism and ensuring his place as a protector of gods and mortals alike. The legacy of Mjolnir extends far beyond ancient myths into the realm of modern pop culture. Today, the hammer has become a symbol of strength and resilience, featured prominently in books, movies, and comic books. Marvel's portrayal of Thor and Mjolnir has introduced the hammer to a global audience, bringing its legendary power and symbolism to life on the big screen. The character of Thor, with his mighty hammer, continues to captivate imaginations, demonstrating that the ancient myths still resonate powerfully in contemporary times. The symbolism of Mjolnir has not only endured in popular media but also holds a special place in modern symbolism and even in spiritual practices. For many, Mjolnir represents more than just a relic of mythology, it is a symbol of protection and strength. The hammer's image is often used in jewelry and tattoos, embodying personal values of resilience and courage. In some modern pagan and heathen practices, Mjolnir is revered as a sacred symbol, reflecting its historical significance as a powerful emblem of divine favor and protection. Throughout history and into the present day, Mjolnir's legacy endures as a potent symbol of protection, power, and resilience. The hammer's mythic power to protect against evil and restore balance continues to inspire and uplift. It serves as a reminder of the strength that lies within each of us and the courage needed to face our own battles. The story of Mjolnir, from its theft to its ultimate return and the legacy it has left behind, is more than just an ancient myth. It is a timeless symbol that transcends generations, reminding us of the power of bravery, the importance of protection, and the enduring strength that defines us. The hammer's legacy continues to shine brightly, bridging the gap between ancient legends and modern symbols of heroism and resilience.